Good evening. The Building Facilities Construction Committee meeting for Wednesday, September 16th, 2020 will now come to order at, what is it?
7:05.
7:05. Thank you, Linda.
You're welcome.
The members here are Mike Fitzpatrick, Linda Brown, myself, Shirley Mazinski, and we have Ginger Howe on speakerphone. So we do have a quorum. And we have Bill Cundiff as our advisor. And before I begin the business at hand, I would like to thank Mary Wright for her years of as a recording secretary with giving us excellent minutes. And I'd like to welcome our new recording secretary, Ashley Palms. And welcome. So the business at hand is, one, reorganization. Does anyone want to wait till Sean is available to be here and Ginger in person? Or what are your wishes?
I make a motion that we wait until Sean's available.
I second.
Okay, motion.
I was going to say, I did ask Sean if he had an objection, just so everyone knows, to moving forward with the reorg in his absence. He had no objection to doing
Of
that.
course.
Of course. And I also wanted to point out that he did let us know that he would be absent, so it would qualify as an excused absence.
Okay.
Good.
So,
So we could reorganize, I guess.
I still make a motion that we hold it over.
And I had seconded it.
yes, okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Just because
Yep.
we do remote meetings, we do a roll call vote.
Okay,
so
sorry.
first-
Linda Brown, aye.
Mike Fitzpatrick, aye.
Shirley Mazinski, aye. Ginger?
Ginger Howe, aye.
Thank you. Okay, second item on the agenda is library ADA accessibility update. Bill, do you have any?
Yeah, in your packet, I have an email from the library director, and I'll read it since Ginger's packet is sitting right here.
I did read it, Bill.
Oh, you
That's
did?
okay, you can read it again, yeah.
Sure. It says, "I don't have anything to report in terms of the library accessibility project, other than the trustees are 19.6% of the way toward our $400,000 fundraising goal. Hoping to round 20% soon, with a virtual auction being put on by the Friends this October."
Groovy.
Anyone with any questions, comments? Mike?
Do they have any sort of design figured out for this yet? How'd they come up with their $400,000
Do they have any sort of what? Mike?
design, and how did they come up with their $400,000 figure?
I'm not aware of any design and have not seen any design. I'm not sure how they came up with that dollar amount.
Okay.
Yep.
Would it be proper to ask them to come into our next meeting to discuss it? And what I'm concerned about is looking through the attachments that you sent in our packet for designer selection and things like that. Are they taking into the account that they could be spending 10% of their budget on a designer?
That's a good question.
And how is...
That's a very good question. Be nice if somebody asked them that.
How is
At some
the
point, maybe they'd
project
like to
being
come to a
outlined
meeting.
is what I'm concerned about. Because Bill and myself had met with them at that little subcommittee that one time,
Right.
and Bill brought up the point just for the driveway itself, the parking lot. That's going to require some additional work other than just paving it. And Bill did point out to him that they could minimize the paving potentially. Has to be verified for the handicap portion of it. If I understood correctly, their preference would be to pave the whole thing, and just want some clarification, make sure that they're going in the right direction so they don't end up raising their money and they still don't have enough to do what they need to do.
Good
So I'm
point.
having a little trouble hearing you, Mike, but are you saying that they want to pave the entire driveway for the parking spaces for the library, and do they have the funding for that?
Well, I want to make sure that they understand the scope of their project and they're thinking through it clearly, so they don't end up embarrassed at the end of it if they go ahead and raise $400,000. Now they need to answer to all these people that donated that money if they don't have enough to do it. And if they're not planning, and they may have it all done, I have no idea. But if they haven't planned it properly, they could be setting themselves up for a little hiccup at the end of it, especially with the.
So
line
the
of-
bottom line is they probably ought to come to a meeting.
I think so, just to bring us up to speed as of what's going on. I did inquire with Bill before I even had this thought, to make sure that they fell under the bylaw for the building and facilities, because it was donated money. I had no idea how that worked, and he clarified it with me that no matter where the funds come, it's still a town project. So it would have to come before the building and facilities at some point. So to help them
Right.
along, I think it would be in their best interest to come in ahead of time, so then they can get some information they may need, and we get some understanding as to what they're doing. Or plan to do, I should say.
So the latest information I have is in the linked agenda, which is from December 18th of 2019, and it's a draft project scope. It's just an email from Justin going over, I think, a number of things. So I'm not sure if they have anything more than that, but I can certainly ask them, you know, the series of things you mentioned, and see if they want to come to our next meeting.
Ginger,
Shirley,
do you have anything you'd like on this issue?
Shirley,
Yes.
it's kind of hard for me to say, may I speak, because I don't know what's going on there.
It's okay. We've got
Like
you.
I'm just interrupting people.
No, that's okay. I will recognize you. Go ahead.
Thank you. Of course, now I've forgotten what I was going to say. No, I'm kidding.
It's okay.
I'm unclear as to what happened. Mike, you went to a meeting with them to kind of help them focus. Whatever happened after that?
No, nothing. I didn't get any more feedback on it. We had that one meeting, there was never any subsequent meeting scheduled.
Yeah, I watched
So-
that meeting online, and I didn't get the.
So I don't know, it might not have been well received as to what I was saying to him. I was just trying to help him and be honest about it. I wasn't trying to hinder
I
the
know,
process.
I know. But
I'm
that's
just
the last we
concerned that,
heard.
just based on that meeting alone and the budget that they're proposing, and if you take out 10% for the designer fees, that puts you down to about 360. That's considerably lower than just a guesstimate that I had thrown out. And seeing the other projects that we have going on around town to try to get the amount of work that they want done for 360 may be a challenge for them. I could be incorrect,
I
but
agree.
I'm just suspecting that it may be a challenge.
So can we just get them into a meeting and just maybe all of us understand a little bit better? Perhaps they've got a perfectly logical approach, and we just haven't heard it.
No, absolutely, and that was my point.
Good. Linda, do you have any comments?
No.
You're agreeable to asking them to come in? Okay, so Bill, you will write up our concerns.
Yes.
And I think Mike brought up some good points, and so we need to know where we are for their sake, too. Okay,
We need some clarity.
yes. Okay, any other comments, questions on the library?
Yep. It's probably related, but in your attachment bill dated 1/18/2011, the memo for the written designer selection procedure,
Yeah.
make sure that Justin has that stuff, because there's some certain thresholds that are triggered.
What is the date on that?
1/18/2011.
Oh,
It's a memo for written designer selection procedure.
okay.
I just want to make sure he understands what he needs to
Sure.
do when he gets to that point. All the attachments are in the agenda that Bill sent to us, but
Yep.
if Justin pokes around in there, he'll find some of the things that may be helpful for him.
And, I think it would be a good idea that the library committee attends if possible, so it's not just Justin, they're the ones that make the decision of what they're going to do. So
Having a joint meeting,
have them come too,
as a joint meeting?
fine.
We could have a joint meeting.
Well,
Yeah.
if they come, it would be a joint
It's up
meeting.
to
Yes.
Yeah.
Or at least some representation from the committee.
Or put the offer out to them, see
Yes.
if they wish to do that.
Yep.
But we would need some feedback from them.
But if
Exactly.
they show up, it would have to be posted if
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
quorum shows up.
Yeah, they know that, but good to remind them. Okay, item 3, green energy. Bill?
So as you may recall, we had 3 projects that were funded under the Green Communities grant that we had received. The first was the police station HVAC improvements. That project's been installed and completed 100%. In addition to the primary school lighting, which has been completed and installed 100%. Those 2 are completed. The third project is the municipal building weatherization. They have filed for a building permit. They've not begun the work yet. We did have a question, so we kind of had them hold up because, as you may know, we also have on our agenda further down, we have municipal gym windows. And the thought was, if we're going to be replacing those windows, why would we make them weather tight with caulking and sealant? So therefore, we pulled that out of the scope.
Good.
Yeah.
And so we're still planning on moving forward with the gym windows, and I'll talk more about that later. But, so we just tweaked the scope a little on the weatherization. There's been a couple of questions and back and forth. Programmatically with the state, we're right at the termination of the grant term. So we did file for an extension to the grant term, and, that's being looked at by the state. We don't expect it to be an issue. With this minor change, we think that they'll be fine with the scope change and, tell us to proceed. So once we hear back on that, it's likely they'll just get going quickly and have this done within a month, I'd say. By the time, hopefully by the time we meet next time, the project will be done, and all 3 of those projects will be done. So we could either ask and answer questions on those projects, or I could tell you they're now soliciting proposals for the next round of grant information, and so I'm talking with the town administrator about what projects to submit on that.
Okay.
I'm
Questions?
satisfied with what he's told us. I don't have any questions.
What
Ginger?
projects, Bill?
So the municipal building weatherization, the police station HVAC improvements, and the primary school LED lighting retrofit. So those projects, except for the weatherization, are complete. We expect the weatherization
Right.
to be completed this month.
Right.
Well, within a month, let me put it that way.
Linda?
And there are no other projects at this point.
At this point, there are not. I know we do have that master list of the townwide energy reduction plan that we had prepared.
Right.
I'll put it back on the agenda, so it'll just always be there, but that one has a number of different kind of thoughts about what projects we could do, and that's pretty much where we're going to go to develop the next application.
Good. I think we should review that.
Yeah.
I know we did have a list or information from Jean regarding what the projects cost all the projects that we were looking at, the amounts, and what was left over, if any. So,
Actually, she just handed me that list because capital, I guess, is looking for
Yeah.
sources of revenue.
we are,
She wants me to go through my projects. So,
okay,
yeah,
but she will get it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, great, thank you.
5 minutes ago, she just handed it to me.
All right. Okay, everybody okay with that?
Yes.
Right?
Yep,
Ginger, you're good?
I'm good.
Okay. Next item on the agenda, Police Department windows, status update.
Police Department windows, we had awarded the contract, as you may recall. GRLA helped us prepare bid documents.
Yeah?
We put it out to bid. Farica Construction was awarded the contract. They also did the windows here on the first floor
Yeah.
on a separate contract. We are very happy with their work here on the first floor, so they were awarded the contract. They did the project. It went through fairly smoothly. We had one change order that was non-monetary, and it was basically a swap for work. They had a change in conditions in the field versus they had some cost savings, so it was a wash on it, so it was a no-cost change order. And the chief seems happy, Adam's happy. I know Mike participated in,
Were they able to get that trim on that window, that one window behind the lockers?
no,
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 they couldn't get that in there?
no. So the issue Mike's talking about is the window frame is behind the police lockers.
Okay,
So you can't see it, it's not visual. The thought process was if the police relocate, that will expose the window, and in doing that, they're going to pull down the lockers, and they're going to have to do some work in there anyway, so the trim work's fairly easy.
Yeah,
Sure.
there was a number of issues with moving the lockers between the amount of fasteners, but it was also welded along the bottom, so it was almost impossible for them to take them out, so it was easier for
Sure.
them just to bypass that one window.
Right.
okay. Anyone, questions, comments?
Well, it was a good project.
Everybody's good?
Yes.
Linda?
Yes.
Yep,
Ginger? Yep, okay.
yep. I wish Mike would speak up a little bit more, though.
Okay.
You want him
Thank
to,
you.
you want him to move? He can be over between Bill and I, maybe that would help? You think?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay,
He'll be out of here.
Hold on, he's gonna,
I'm coming.
While Mike's moving,
yeah,
Yep,
I don't know if you want to move on to the next item?
sure. The next item is municipal backup generator status update.
I think we missed a couple. Oh, no, I'm sorry.
No.
So the municipal backup generator, you may recall, we had some funding for that project from the town meeting. We also were seeking funding from the Commonwealth Community Compact Cabinet, and we did not get that funding.
Right.
Some of the funding we used, we had an engineer come out and do a review and assessment of the generator, and he also looked at some of the electrical components within the building and found a lot of issues. In other words, in order to do it properly, his recommendation was to have the generator not where it is and not do an apples-to-apples generator, actually have a more powerful generator that will furnish the whole building instead of just parts of the building. And it's my understanding also that the panel, the electrical panel, has issues circuitry-wise with the current level of generator, and if we increase that, it's going to have more problems.
Yep.
So it's a broader project. I know the administrator's looking at other funding opportunities perhaps for it. And that's, so it's kind of on a hold right now.
Okay.
And I do want to make the general caveat that with COVID coming up, as you know, a
Yep.
lot of these projects got kind of put on a back burner, and we focused on COVID-related issues. And, you know, now that we're getting back into the swing of things, we're now picking it up and carrying on.
right.
So,
Well, now it's a matter of money too, right?
The idea is because it'll be a larger generator, probably with a
Cost.
larger fuel source, located a little further from the building, not right up against the building, and the circuitry issues, it is a bigger project.
Sure.
So obviously,
Right.
more money would be needed. So-
Right, the cost increases.
Right.
Okay. Ginger, anything else? Ginger?
No, all set.
Okay, Mike? Linda?
All set.
Okay. Moving on, Bad Luck Pond Outlet Bridge, status update, and I feel like this has been on and on forever.
Cedar Street Bridge, otherwise known as the Cedar Street.
Yes.
It kind of feels that way, and frankly, we were looking to get the bid package out this year still.
Right.
Okay, and construction, and this has always been the plan, to get it,
Who was that?
I just got chills.
Yeah, I did.
I got chills.
It just
It's
moved
facing
back.
that way now, turn
Yeah.
around. It's moving.
You better tell Ginger what we're talking about.
The camera moved by
Sounds kind
itself.
of creepy. Great.
Okay.
Glad I'm not there.
So I know there was an article that was passed over on the town warrant.
There was. So initially, we were taking the approach on that particular issue that we could move forward with assessed values of property, because there are a number of takings.
Right.
Okay? Some are permanent, some are temporary. Some of them are strictly construction access easements, others are permanent easements for the location of the structure and the alignment of the road,
Sure.
frankly. So we had that estimated costs that were in the town meeting report done through the assessor's office.
Right.
We thought it would be prudent to take a little more outside, independent look at those
Okay.
values. So in case they're challenged, we'll have better
Yes.
data to go by. So
From the
that's the main
owners.
reason we passed over it.
Right.
We looked at it, said the delay is going to be a couple of months. We can still move forward with putting it out to bid under the presumption we require that at town meeting, which we expect to.
And,
So with regard to the design plans, they're 100% complete. They've been submitted to the Mass DOT. We're just simply waiting for their final okay on it. Once we get their final okay, we can send it out to bid.
okay. Questions?
All
Linda?
set. No?
Ginger?
All set.
Mike?
All set, Ginger.
I'll
Okay.
be back, Mike, so behave yourself.
All right, thank you, Bill. All right, next item is municipal fire alarm, and this has been on forever.
Right.
So what's the status
I spoke
update?
with both Adam and the town administrator today about this, and I guess there's plans to work on the roof upstairs, and in terms of the prioritization of projects, the theory is it makes sense to repair the roof 100% before we invest money and on internal components, such as the fire alarm. So, in other words, that's on hold until the roof project gets completed.
Okay. Questions, Mike?
No.
Ginger?
Yeah, I assume there's a fire alarm that works at this point, though.
We do. I think the issues are more of a nuisance-related type issue, is my understanding. So we may get alarms that they don't know which alarm is triggered
Okay.
in the building, so they have to do a manual check on each alarm and that sort of thing.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
As long as
Linda?
there's a working alarm of some sort.
Yeah. Linda?
Nope, all set.
Okay, so we can get an update maybe at the next meeting as to where this is and where we are with the
And if I
roof.
find out more about the roof program, I'll add that on as as a line item.
Me too.
Good.
Okay. All right, next item, municipal gymnasium windows, status update.
So, again, I spoke with the administrator and Adam about this. We are moving forward with this. We are, I guess we're at the point where we're discussing, should we contract with an engineer, or should we prepare our specifications for outside contractors to bid on in-house internally? So, you know, one of my big things is making sure everyone's bidding apples to apples, and that's the value you get when you hire an engineer to prepare the documents. If you don't do that, you may find that contractors might skip steps to save cost, get the low bid to get in the door. What do you mean caulking was, I didn't put in for caulking, you know, whatever the
Right.
case, and that's just an example.
Yeah,
So
Right.
I always find it, I personally like having a set of bid plans and specs that everybody's bidding on the same project.
exactly.
And, you know, and frankly, I don't know enough about windows to, you know if I'm missing a component or not. But,
Wasn't there like lead paint involved and all?
yeah, we have testing that was done, and, you know, we have that data in here. TRC did
Yeah.
a survey. Let's see. Here's the sample results. Mike, do you remember off the top of your head if there was?
I think there was.
I think there was too.
There
Yeah.
was, lead, and it might have been asbestos in there.
Oh,
Yeah.
Pat did it? It's got, he must have found something.
I think it was like a $10,000 cost to get rid of that, from what I heard.
Yeah,
$10,000.
What you're saying makes sense, Bill.
So, what do you think, Mike?
As far as,
Preparing a bid package by an engineer? or-
I would think you would be better off, because what's gonna happen is it's gonna get confusing. You're gonna rely on whoever's in-house, or you're gonna have to hire somebody to oversee what's going on. I don't think it's ever a good idea to ask the contractor, what should I do?
Right,
oh, I agree.
And I'm a contractor.
Right,
But
right.
I don't think it's the right way to go about it. I think you're better off scoping out the work, and then everybody bids on it and gets it done. Yes, it costs a little bit more money, but as we can see on the first floor of this and the police department, it's money well spent.
so our recommendation, I'll carry that to the administrator and to Adam, and then we'll move forward.
Well, let's see. Ginger, you agree?
Yep.
Linda?
Yes.
And I do. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Well, you were saying it, so I'm sorry. Oh,
You better
boy.
agree.
He doesn't let me get by with a thing, does he?
No, he doesn't.
Okay, so you're going to,
I'll circle around with Adam and the administrator, and then hopefully we'll move forward with some kind of request for proposals from consultants
okay,
by the next meeting.
Can we
okay,
back up to number 7 for a minute?
sure.
You brought up the addressing the roof issue
Yeah,
prior to the alarm.
Yeah.
Will that end up on our agenda in the near future?
the roof? Yeah,
It
that's what I
should.
was saying.
Okay.
I'll add a line item. If I get, you know, a little more concrete data on
Right.
what a roof project is, I'll start adding it in the agenda.
Yeah, okay, good. All right. No other questions on the gymnasium windows?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
So we're at the minutes, January, I'm sorry, possible vote, yeah?
Then, give a comment on the gymnasium windows.
Sure.
I don't know if anyone else is aware of it, but then the people that use the gymnasium, they wanted different specs on those for shading and things like that.
They do, and, you know, Adam's most familiar with what she talked about with GRLA, actually. And it's like it's not a clear pane glass, it's like an
glass.
insulated obscured glass.
Yes.
That they'll get better R value, so you won't.
But
get
I
as
think
much
they
glass.
wanted a shading as well, like a blind type thing.
Oh, I'm not sure.
I think so, so that's why it would be important to have it
Right.
have them designed out, so then we know exactly what
Yeah.
is supposed to be in there.
Wasn't there some discussion too, as far as, there was one side maybe that got the sunlight when they're
Right, well,
playing?
Right.
that's why I was
Yeah.
in the shades.
Yeah,
Yeah, I remember talking about louvers or
Yeah.
something that needed.
but again, talk with Adam and
Yep.
and the.
And we'll come up with, you know, an RFP document to solicit engineers to put a proposal in on. I've got a lot of the legwork actually done on that because that's what we were looking at initially, and then we started going towards just a Windows installer.
Right,
It seems like we're coming back this way.
yep. Oh, yeah,
Before we get into the minutes, I was just looking through these things, I don't know if where it falls in on discussion, and that subcommittee that Bill and I had got put on to in an advisory role for the
library,
library committee,
yeah.
if that's not gonna happen, how do we dissolve that? If it's not an active committee, I don't wanna just keep my name on a committee that's not even active and being used. What's the sense?
I think, correct me, Bill, if I'm wrong, but an advisory that if they need input, they could ask?
Well, I think what Mike's saying is, because this committee, this quote-unquote committee, subcommittee of the two boards was formed somewhat from each board, library trustees and this committee, because it was a formal process and our meeting was recorded as a subcommittee. Is there a process to dissolve the subcommittee?
Correct, because.
Yeah, no, I understand.
It's
yeah.
obvious that, well, it's obvious to me that they don't want to move forward with that subcommittee because they've already making decisions and moving in another direction.
I hear what you're saying,
For
but
the building projects.
But I think, I think we need to hear that at their next
Well, yeah,
meeting.
No, I'm not saying that we decided to dissolve
Right.
it now. I want to start the conversation to find out.
Right.
If it's
So
something
what-
if they wish to continue with it, I'm more than happy to help them with it.
Sure.
If they don't want to continue it, I just soon get rid of it.
Right.
That's all. That's a.
Yeah, I agree with that
I didn't
completely,
explain
Mike.
it properly, I'm sure.
No, I
But that's
understand.
what my feeling is.
I understand what you're saying. Go ahead, Bill.
So what I can do is look at process before our next meeting.
Okay.
But then, since the trustees may attend our next meeting, maybe we have a joint discussion about that then.
Yeah, have a joint discussion, but if they're not going to attend, inquire about it and find out
Okay.
what their wishes are. I don't know if it's Dawn that's the chairperson of that
Yep,
subcommittee.
yep.
Find out what the intentions are. Do you want to continue this
Yep.
or not?
Yep.
If you don't want to, that's fine. If they do,
Yeah.
that's fine too.
Yeah.
Either way.
Yeah. And you did get the approval, the okay from town council that you are on, both you and Bill are
Yes,
on
we
this.
spoke about that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
His only advice was that we.
take minutes.
And, yeah,
And I don't think we've seen any
no,
minutes.
I don't think anybody was tasked with,
Well, no.
maybe Mary took minutes, I don't know.
We never had a second meeting, so we couldn't vote on the minutes, so there wouldn't be any minutes to see. So.
Okay. All right. Any other, before we get into the minutes? Okay.
All set?
Yeah. So we're looking for approval of the meeting minutes of January 15th, 2020. Have you all had a chance to read the minutes?
Yes.
Yes.
Ginger?
I'm trying to remember. I think I did read them, yeah.
No, that's okay. Take a few minutes. That's fine.
That's okay, go for it.
No?
I make a motion to approve the January 15th, 2020 meeting minutes as presented.
Second.
Thank you. So Linda Brown made the motion and Ginger Howe seconded. Any further discussion? If not, roll call vote.
Linda Brown, aye.
Ginger?
Aye.
Mike Fitzpatrick, aye.
Shirley Mazinski, aye. Okay,
Under number one in the minutes, and number one, the library section,
yeah,
the last paragraph, stated that town council stated that the subcommittee of trustees, Mr. Benedictus, an advisory rule would be considered a formal and minutes should be kept.
Right, right,
Just a backup what
I said,
Yeah.
statement Bill had made.
yeah,
I have a question before we adjourn.
yeah,
Looking at our last meeting was January 15th,
yeah.
and, oh, no, it wasn't. But anyway, what about the, that, was it MVP?
Municipal Vulnerability Program.
Yeah, well, we all sat down in here.
Right,
What was the results of that, or?
We submitted our report through CMRPC.
good point.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Prepared it, we submitted it, and basically, it was, you participated, it was all the items that
Yes.
we discussed,
Priority things.
prepared in a report format, submitted to the state.
yeah,
We had gotten the state funding to cover the cost of that. So that project's done, they accepted it. Now they're starting, just now, a few days ago, I got an email about applying for funding to implement some of those
Oh, good.
recommendations in the list. So,
yeah.
that'll be coming.
Excellent.
Yeah, each group had, listed their priorities and got up and
Yeah.
presented them. So
Right.
I just came across my info on that, and I was, good point. Thank you, Linda.
You're welcome.
All right, any other issues not on the agenda that need to be looked at? If not, we have, if you turn over your paper, our upcoming meetings. Next meeting is October 21, 2020, and followed by November 18th, 2020. And we do have a list of future topics, important information. So Bill, we can have those maybe one at a time or something on each agenda? Or do you
Most of
prefer to
those
do
are
them
not
all?
particularly projects, they're mostly just information, like Mike
That we- no.
Mike referenced the thing earlier.
Right.
That January 18th memo.
Yep.
That's actually the 1, 2, 3, 4th bullet item on the agenda.
Okay.
So I'll share that with Justin. And I put these on the agendas so that you have easy access to them, and
Okay.
they're procurement documents and stuff like that.
Right, okay. All right. And if anybody has any questions about them, we can discuss them. Okay. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn at 7:42.
Do I hear a second?
Second. Second.
Okay, Linda Brown made the motion, and Ginger Howe seconded the motion. Any further discussion?
No.
Roll call vote, please.
Linda Brown, aye.
Good.
Ginger Howell, aye.
Mike, Fitzpatrick, aye.
Shirley Mazinski, aye. And thank you, everybody. And thank you, Bill.
Thank you.